Mathria, what did you do?
So you are a user. Fascinating.
I guess I am. So anyway, the first thing the game does is give us a tutorial of some of the mechanics in the game. So I'm gonna go through it, but the game is gonna give me a ton of help files in text form. I'm not gonna read all those. I mean, the mechanics are gonna be also shown anyway, so there's no point in reading it twice. And I'm gonna try to explain it as best as I can, but whoops. So anyway, no help files because that would take too long. So let's move on and continue basic training. Now there's a goal sheet here, which is added by the killer app mod. Obviously we're going to ignore that and go on with option number 1.
Well, user, now that you've been digitized, you can think of me as your tour guide to the world inside the computer. There are a few crucial functions you'll have to learn if you hope to survive the system. I'm sending you a help file. You can view help files at any time by pressing the number 8 key. Study them closely. They typically contain important information.
So what I was referring to earlier as help files is these. This is a help file about help files. Anyway, there's no point in reading all of these. They're going to pop up on the screen briefly anyway, because otherwise that question mark on the left side of my screen is going to stay there. So if you want to read them, you can pause the video and read them. But, you know, there's really no point in me reading them out loud if I'm going to show the mechanics anyway. So let's move on. Basic help files, there we go.
The program has something to say. A talk icon will appear above his or her head. To initiate the conversation, approach the program and press the action key. Try it.
6 more subdirectories have been compromised. The corruption managed to slip past our scheduled scans. Obviously an inside job.
So this is fairly self-explanatory. NPC with an eye above their head you can talk to.
To continue your training, activate the help programs that display the talk icon.
Tell me about player movement.
The basic player movements are forward, backward, strafe left, strafe right, crouch, and jump. The mouse is used to look around. You can also look around corners. Here's a help file with more information. That concludes the basics.
So yeah, movement.
Tell me about my status display.
The status display shows your objectives and tasks. Press the Tab key to see an example. Here's a help file with more information.
So the status display would be this. Follow Byte's instructions, talk to the next help program, and learn about build points. Just showing us what our present mission is.
Tell me about build points.
As you gain experience in the digital world, build points will be added to your version number. At every milestone, you can use the build points to upgrade your performance ratings.
So basically, build points are a bit like experience, which we can see up in the top left corner as we get missions or we pick up the objects build nodes, like that hexagon right underneath where it says jet v.0.0.0, that little hexagon underneath. They're scattered throughout the levels and we pick them up and that raises our build.
Press the F1 key to access your performance ratings and distribute your initial set of build points.
So now we've gone from version 1...
Here's a help file with more information.
Don't interrupt me, that's rude. We've gone from version 0 to version 1, and therefore we can assign some points to various abilities. Okay. So here we have our health, our energy, our weapon efficiency, which is how much energy our weapons consume. So basically how much ammo we use. Our transfer rate for when we're downloading subroutines or permissions, which we're going to see in a second. And then our processor when we have to defragment some of our bad sectors, or we have to run an antivirus on our subroutines. Again, this is all stuff that we'll see in the game. And here on the sides now, since we've gone from version 0 to version 1, we've got the points that we can assign. So here we've got, for example, put one into health, and as we put stuff into health and energy, this goes down until it hits 0, and that's all the points we can assign. So I think I'm gonna go 1.5 health, 1 energy, and 1 on weapon efficiency. Now, there's 100 build nodes in the game, and also with the missions. It's not going to be enough to fill up everything, but I'm going to concentrate in the first 3 because the other 2, if you've taken out all enemies in the areas, they're not really that important. They're just time savers. So I'm going to concentrate on the first 3. Or better, when I get them all filled up, I'm going to put some points into the bottom 2, but that's going to be only at the end of the game. So anyway, let's move on. Now, where are we? Where is Spite? Over here.
Mithria has just requested an IO node link with you.
In here, I take it?
Tell me about IO nodes.
I/O nodes are how programs communicate when not in the vicinity of each other. I/O nodes, like most objects, require a permission set to activate. The segmented ring surrounding the reticle will indicate what permissions are missing. To activate an object such as this I/O node, face the object and press the action key. I believe that's it.
So basically, one of the big things in the game is permissions, which is basically like keys in other FPSs. Now, we're supposed to access this IO node to talk to Mithria, but if we get close to it, we see we have this circle around our crosshairs with 8 segments, and 2 of them are red, which means we need those 2 segments, the permissions for those 2 segments. If we had them, they'd be light blue, but since they're red, it means that we don't have them. And well, this is going to happen all through the game. We're going to have to find the right permissions to access certain areas or certain programs. So, let's talk to Bite.
You do not have the proper permission set to activate this object. This way, user.
Okay.
Activate this help program to learn about archive bins.
By the way, the Mithria icon on the left side means that Mithria wants to talk to us. So whenever there's a program that wants to talk to us through an IO node, their picture will show up over there. So now we've got archive bins.
Tell me about archive bins.
Archive bins can contain permissions, emails, help files, and subroutines. Like most objects, they require a permission set to activate. To activate, face the archive bin and press the action key. One useful note, an empty archive bin exhibits no item nodes. That about covers it.
So here we have the archive bin with 1 blue item in it, which is a permission. Then he said, I think green ones are emails, red ones are subroutines. So, but as we see with our permission ring here, we still need another permission to be able to access this.
Looks like you don't have the proper permission set to access this archive bin either. Wait, I've got it here somewhere. Here you go. Now that you have the proper permission set, activate the archive bin.
We can also see the permissions that we have at any time at the bottom in the middle, like in between our health and energy bar. We can see which permissions we have, and now we have that one, the one light blue one, which is permission 2, I think. And now we can access this archive bin.
To download an item from an archive bin, select the corresponding number on your keyboard.
In the bottom left, we see that in the archive bin is permission number 3, which is assigned to number 1, so it takes 10 energy to download, so let's download that. And once we'll be done with this is, by the way, the 4th item that we can assign build points to. The more build points we put into it, the faster the download goes. So As I said, not something that I consider very important because I usually do these downloads once I've cleared the area of enemies. Alright, so we've got the permissions that we need.
Follow me back to the I.O. node. You now have the correct permission set to receive the message from Mathria.
And let's go back. And now we should be able to talk to
activate,
Mathria.
face the I.O. node, then press the action key.
Fair enough.
Connecting to I.O. grid. Alan 2, you must obtain your disk before proceeding.
What do I need a disc for?
It will be your primary weapon against the corruption. Node deactivated.
Obviously, anybody familiar with Tron knows that the discs are the primary weapons of these programs.
Handling a disk is tricky. I strongly suggest a quick combat tutorial. Follow me.
And in the middle we go.
Mathria has prepared a practice arena for you. The data stream leading to the arena is on the other side of this force field. Unfortunately, the binary bit operating this socket is missing.
So here we have a socket, which is kind of like a lock, and we have to find a binary bit that can open this lock. Only they can do it. And of course, over here, here's the binary bit on the floor.
Tell me about energy transfer.
Periodically, binary bits lack energy to operate properly. To transfer energy to a bit, face the bit, then press and hold the action key. When the meter displayed in the HUD fills up, the transfer is complete.
So basically, this binary bit can't move because it has no energy. So if we get close to it, it says transfer energy requires 30 energy. So if we give 30 energy of our 45 to this binary bit, it will power up and unlock the door for us. So now we transfer the energy, and here it goes. Where are you going? Walk right through me, how rude. And here we are. Now it is in the lock, and we can use it to lower the force field. And here we have a data stream.
To be transported to the combat training arena, step into the data stream.
Now, data streams are kind of like teleports. They take us from one part of the level to another part of the level. And here it says IP data stream to combat training arena two-way, which means it's a two-way data stream, so we can go from here to the combat arena and we can come back. Some data streams are only one way, so once we go through them, there's no way to come back. And here we are going through the data stream.
To pick up your disc, face it, and press the action key.
Here's our disk. Disk primitive number 01Jet1110. So continue to combat training.
Good. Now before we get started, use the patch routines to restore your health and energy to full capacity.
So there's basically three,
Activate the help program when ready to start the combat training.
as I was saying, 3 patch routines in the game. The red one, which gives us health, which we can download. And it's only got a finite amount of health, so it will eventually run out. Then there's green ones, which give us energy, which also are finite and will run out. And then there's whitish blue ones, I don't know, maybe light blue ones, I guess, that still give us energy, but they're infinite, so we can go back to those and fill up as many times as we want. Those are the best. So, alright, we're all up on health and energy, so let's talk to the help program.
Tell me about using the disc.
It's good practice to save your progress before entering into combat situations. Please do that now. Step onto the battle ring when ready.
So, quick save. As always, I'm gonna do a lot of quick saving because there's some iffy jumping sections and some fairly tough boss fights. So yeah, there's going to be quite a bit of quick saves. Bear with me on that.
To throw the disc, click and release the left mouse button. To recall the disc, click the right mouse button. To steer the disc in mid-flight, click and hold the left mouse button. Moving the mouse will influence the path of the disc. To use the disc as a melee weapon, click the left mouse button while holding down the control key.
Yeah, for some reason that doesn't
To
work
block
for
an
me.
incoming enemy disc, press the right mouse button.
I'll have to check my
Practice
key
using the
assignments
disc
for that.
against this combat training program.
So okay, now we get a training program. No. And here we are. We killed him.
When a program is derezzed, a core dump containing energy, health, and quite often permissions and subroutines is left behind. If you wish to continue practicing, activate the switch to res in another combat training program.
That's the core
data
dump.
stream when finished.
Which we picked up a little bit of energy and health, and then there's permission 7, which I don't know, subroutines, permissions, and stuff are represented by these little pyramids. So this permission 7 we can pick up because we need that. And then there's another thing I wanted to illustrate quickly because you didn't mention it earlier, that with the right mouse button we can block the other guy's shots. So let's practice that for a second. Hey, throw at me, dude. Here we go. And if you block the other guy's disc, it actually takes longer to get back to him, so he'll be unarmed for a little while. So let's fill up on health, and I think we should be done with the tutorial, so we can go back to the hub we were at earlier. Back to entry level.
Oh no, the corruption has breached this sector. Exit user.
And these are the bad guys, the corruption virus programs. So let's see. Follow by its instructions, escape the sector before succumbing to the corruption. So I think he opened up, yep. He opened up over here.
Step
Hey! And there's nothing over here. I'm just checking to see if I can find any build nodes, because if you look in the upper left-hand corner, it says 0 of 3, so there's 3 build nodes. In this level, I can see one over there. But let's first check out this side. Here there's some health, but we don't need health. And a jumping section with some emails. So let's save. See if we can download this. Yes, we can. Here we go. Subject, virus alert. All personnel at n.com from IT@n.com, March 03. Unfortunately, not everyone has updated to the new virus protection software, and as a result, an unknown virus type has corrupted many systems on Group 7 Labs server. We're working on the problem right now. Thank you. Thank you for your patience, IT department. And I think it was. Yep, there's another one back there. All right. Actually, let's save because that's a bottomless pit. Let's download this one as well. This is still to all personnel from IT. Until further notice, do not download or upload files into the central source code server. We're doing our best to quarantine the virus, but its aggressive nature is making it extremely difficult. It's really unlike anything we have ever seen before. Sorry for the inconvenience, IT department. All right. So now that we know what's going on, we can move on over here.
Something's gone horribly wrong. Rami failed to transmit a data packet to my user. He must have been corrupted. He was so young. So many cycles left.
What a terrible tragedy. So here's a build note. And we've gone to version 1.1.2. 2 build points at it.
The only way out is up through here.
Can't reach it.
In the next sector, there is an archive bin that contains a subroutine that will enable you to jump higher. This way, user.
So, here is that one node I was talking about earlier, which is kind of whitish blue, which has infinite energy. We can always come back and download more here. It'll never run out. So we have to go over here. Oh, got stuck.
Locate the archive bin and retrieve the subroutine stored inside.
Locate and acquire the subroutine that increases jump height. So basically subroutines are little programs that there's 3 types. One is defensive, which is basically armor. 2 is weapons, and 3 is subroutines that are utilities. So like the one we're looking for, which gives us greater jump height. Then there's, I don't know, stuff like for stealth and for other things. Not that stealth works very well in this game. That's a different story. Let's first take a look up here. There's a guy down there. Well, build note. And then there's an email and a permission. Let's check them out. Do we need these? Yes, we need the permission.
Please free me. I have an important packet to deliver.
There you go, Rami. So let's get the email as well. Got the permission. Subject, award announcement to all personnel at N.com from management at N.com, still March 03. We are thrilled to announce that our very own Mr. Alan Bradley has been awarded the high coveted International Academy of Intelligence Artificielle, probably, Digital PAL Award for his latest iteration of Mathria. Please join us and Mr. Bradley in the employee lunchroom as we proudly present him the award certificate. Congratulations, Mr. Bradley, Senior Management. So first let's check out over here if there's... Nope, nothing of interest over here. So let's jump back. Save, because we just went through a jumping section and those are finicky. Can we go down here? Yes, we can, but there's nothing here that we need or want. So let's go over to the other side and see if we can free Rami. Because there's a light bridge, but he can't get across because this pillar, whatever it is, fell on it. But here we can deactivate the light bridge, and the stuff will just drop down.
Thanks, program.
No problem. So here we got our archive bin with a subroutine in red. So Y-amp, which gives us greater jump height. There's 3 kinds of subroutines, alpha, beta, and gold. And
subroutines augment a program's base abilities when loaded into system memory. To load a subroutine, press the F1 key to bring up the menu and right-click on the subroutine in the outer ring. With the Y-amp loaded, your jump height is greater.
So there's I saw an enemy pop up there. Whoa! The bad thing is when these virus guys throw stuff at you, they can actually infect you with the virus and screw up your subroutines. So, a word on subroutines. Here, F1. This is our memory and where we can install our subroutines into. Now, each level has a different set of number and combination of open slots. Then here we have the port procedural, which is sometimes we pick up subroutines that we don't know what they are and we have to stick them there to have them ported to our system. Here we have the defrag, which basically, for example, here we have a fragmented block that needs to be defragmented, otherwise we can't install anything here. So let's take it and stick it in here. And then here we have our YAMP. So as I said, there's 3 types of subroutines. Alpha, which increases our jump height 15%, beta 30%, gold 45%. Another thing that the upgrades do, see here, alpha takes up 3 spaces, beta takes up 2 spaces, gold only takes up 1. So yes, we absolutely want the gold versions. And if we get infected by the projectiles that the corruption shoots at us, this will become like all green and will not work anymore and will infect other subroutines. So what we have to do is then take it and stick it up here in the disinfect procedural, which will take a little while, but at least then we'll be safe and our subroutines won't get infected anymore. Got confused there for a second. So over here we can get some health and some energy. Let's see. Yeah, there's an archive bin up there with a permission and an email. See, now we can jump higher, but not that high. But let's see. Okay, permission 7 we already have, so let's just get the email. Subject, award announcement to all personnel from management. If you see Mr. Bradley, please inform him that he's needed in the employee lunchroom. Senior management, so he's not showing up for his award ceremony. So now we can go back and get out. Or actually jump up that one wall that we can get up early. Oh, come on. There we go. Pick up the core dumps. Oh, there's a subroutine here. Profiler. We want that. So let's have a look at that. Ah, here you can see it is infected, so we'll have to disinfect it. But let's see. Gives you the ability to receive vital information from targeted programs. So alpha displays target's name and health, beta displays name, health, and armor, gold displays name, health, armor, and inventory. Alright, so let's stick it in here. And it'll be disinfected. Up in the upper right corner, we can see a progress bar that tells us how long it'll take. Now, if we put build points into our processor, it'll go quicker. But again, it is something that I usually do when I don't have any enemies around, so I don't mind waiting around for it, and I'd rather put my points into health and energy and weapon efficiency.
Thanks, program. I was afraid my subroutines were going to become infected.
Well, one of mine did. So let's see. It has now been disinfected, so we can install it. And if we look at Rami, we can now see his name, Rami, and health 50 of 50. So now we can jump up. Come on. Come on, YAMP, do your job. Why is this not working? Okay, here we go. Name bite, health 100 of 100. So reunite with bite at ledge. And here we got an archive bin with profiler, which we just picked up from the other guy, so we don't need that, but let's get the email. Subject, award announcement to all personnel at N.com from management at N.com. Evidently, Mr. Bradley is not available to attend the award presentation. For those who are interested, a copy of the award certificate will be featured in the next company newsletter. Senior management, so I guess he never showed up. And here, okay, we were out of the sector. I actually didn't want to do that because we're pretty much out of time.
Colonel, system scans indicate partitions 5 through 32 are infected. Block all right access privileges and send in more intrusion countermeasure programs. Yes, sir. Have you isolated the source? Not yet, sir. However, we've picked up the signature of an unauthorized program in the sector. Quarantine and bring the program to me immediately.
The unauthorized program, of course, being us. So, well, let's just have a quick look at the beginning.
What are you exactly? A bit?
A bit? Ha! I'm a byte. Mathria wouldn't send a simple bit to do a byte's job. Let me tell you, mister. Shh.
Alright, so I think that's going to be enough for the first video. I'll thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like or a comment below, and consider subscribing to the channel for more. And I will see you in the next video, so until then, have a good one.